I never believed in second chances until the day Marcus walked back into my life, carrying a box of mint chocolate chip ice cream, and an apology 10 years overdue. The bell above the bookstore door chimed its familiar welcome, as I shelved returns in the poetry section. Summer heat pressed against the windows, making the air inside thick and drowsy. The scent of old paper and brewing coffee from our tiny cafe corner usually calmed me, but today my hands trembled as I alphabetized Neruda and Frost. My ex-husband's lawyer had called that morning about finalizing the last of the paperwork. Emma? I knew that voice. Deep, slightly rough around the edges, like honey mixed with gravel. I turned, and there he was. Marcus Chen, older now with silver threading through his black hair and laugh lines crinkling around his dark eyes. I'd once known better than my own. He wore a faded band t-shirt and jeans, the uniform of the boy who'd left for Los Angeles the day after graduation with nothing but a guitar, and dreams too big for our small Oregon town. Marcus. His name felt strange in my mouth after so long. He held up the ice cream container like a white flag. You still eat this for breakfast when you're stressed, right? Despite everything, I almost smiled. How did you know I was stressed? Your mom mentioned the divorce. I'm sorry. He stepped closer, his sneakers squeaking on the hardwood floor. I'm back in town for a few weeks, helping my dad with the restaurant. The Golden Lotus. I'd avoided that place for a decade. Couldn't bear the memories it held of shared spring rolls and stolen kisses in the kitchen after closing time. That's nice, I said, turning back to my books. My shield. My fortress. Emma, please. Can we talk? Really talk? We talked, Marcus. 10 years ago. You chose music. I chose college. We were kids making grown-up decisions. I chose wrong. The books in my hands suddenly weighed 1,000 pounds. I set them down carefully, buying time. Through the window I could see Main Street baking in the afternoon sun, Mrs. Patterson walking her corgi, the florist arranging bouquets outside her shop, normal life continuing while mine tilted sideways. You can't just show up with ice cream and expect. The crash came from the cafe corner. We both whirled to see my assistant Sophie, staring in horror at the espresso machine, which was now shooting steam like a broken fire hydrant. Water pooled rapidly across the floor. The valve. I ran, Marcus right behind me. We collided the machine, his hands reaching around me to twist the emergency shutoff. His chest pressed against my back, and for a moment I was 17 again, dancing in his tiny apartment, his arms around my waist. The steam died. Water dripped. Sophie apologized frantically while grabbing towels. I've got this, Marcus said quietly, close to my ear. You calm her down, then we're talking. Please. 2 hours later, with Sophie sent home and the cafe closed for repairs, Marcus and I sat on the floor behind the counter, passing the now slightly melted ice cream between us with 2 spoons. I was scared, he said finally. That night before I left, you had that full scholarship to Columbia. You were going to study literature and live in New York City and become someone. I was nobody, chasing pipe dreams. You were everything to me. That's what scared me most. He set down his spoon, met my eyes. What if I held you back? What if you resented me later? So I left fast, cut clean, told myself it was better that way. It wasn't better, Marcus. It broke me. I know. I was 22 when I figured out I'd made the worst mistake of my life. But you'd already met someone. I saw the engagement photos on social media. You look happy. I laughed bitterly. I looked settled. There's a difference. We sat in silence, the weight of lost years between us. Outside, the sun began its descent, painting everything gold. I did okay in LA, Marcus continued. Session work mostly. I played on some albums you might have heard, made decent money. But every song I wrote was about you, Emma. Every single one. My producer kept asking who she was, this ghost in all my music. Why come back now? Dad's heart attack 3 months ago. Mild, he's fine, but it woke me up. Life's short. I spent 10 years running from the only real thing I ever had. He reached for my hand, tentative. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect anything. But I needed you to know that leaving you wasn't because I didn't love you. It was because I loved you so much it terrified me. I looked at our hands, his fingers intertwined with mine, callous from guitar strings and years of work. My wedding ring was gone, leaving a faint tan line. I'm not the same girl you left, I said. Good. I'm not the same stupid kid either. He smiled, and it reached his eyes. But maybe we could be something new. Start over. Friends first. Coffee dates at a cafe with a working espresso machine. Let me prove I know how to stay now. My phone buzzed. A text from Sophie. If you don't give that gorgeous man a chance, I'm staging an intervention. I saw how he looked at you. I showed Marcus the message. He laughed, the sound warm and familiar and full of hope. Your assistant has good instincts. She really does. I squeezed his hand. One coffee date, Wednesday morning. But Marcus? If you run again, that's it. I've done scared. I've done safe. I'm only interested in real now. Allah is all I've got left to offer. He lifted my hand to his lips, pressed a soft kiss to my knuckles. Wednesday morning, I'll bring better ice cream. It had better be mint chocolate chip. Would I dare bring anything else? We sat there as twilight settled over the bookstore, two people who'd taken the long way around finally finding their way back to the beginning. Outside, Main Street emptied as shops closed for the evening. Inside, surrounded by stories of love and loss and second chances, we wrote the opening lines of our own. The espresso machine would need $800 in repairs. My divorce would be final in 6 weeks. Marcus had to return to LA eventually to close up his apartment. None of it was perfect. None of it was easy, but his hand in mine felt like the first honest thing I'd held on to in years. Thank you, I whispered. For what? For being brave enough to come back. He smiled and pulled me closer, resting his forehead against mine. Thank you for being brave enough to let me try. A mint chocolate chip was completely melted by the time we remembered it was there, but neither of us minded. Some things are worth the wait, worth the mess, worth every difficult conversation and uncertain step forward. Love, the real kind, isn't about perfect timing. It's about showing up, staying present, and having the courage to begin again.